Well, good morning and welcome to the Global CTI Web Education Sessions. This is our second web education session, and today our topic is going to be screen pops. Your host today is Jenise Anderson from Global CTI, and Global CTI is a business communications solution provider. We work in the best interest of our clients, and our solutions are easy to manage, simple to use, and they enable organizations of any size to seamlessly integrate their communications, being voice, data, video, messaging, into their business processes. And we accomplish this with a world-class implementation approach to ensure success. We include ongoing support plans that align specifically to your needs. We're headquartered in Bakersfield, with our other major offices in Irvine and virtual sales and engineering offices throughout Central and Southern California. We partner with an IP-PBX manufacturer by the name of ShoreTel. ShoreTel is, tagline is that they are brilliantly simple. They're easy to use and easy to manage. And they offer both voice over IP, PBX, and mobile solutions that are tailored to your phone system needs. ShoreTel has designed their systems from the ground up. They started out as an IP PBX vendor, and so they've been able to customize their designs with simplicity in mind on solid-state appliances, so no spinning media or hard drives to fail within their systems, and virtualization of everything is available. In fact, ShoreTel even offers now a couple of different flavors of their phone systems. So there's the traditional IP PBX on-premise phone system, which is 100% virtualizable in switches and server functionality for management. They also now offer ShoreTel Sky, which is a cloud-based voice over IP phone system. You don't own the infrastructure. You just have some handsets and you connect to the phone system in the cloud, and all your features are handed to you over a private network connection to the ShoreTel Sky network if you choose. So both strategies are available. And ShoreTel offers applications that run across both of these platforms. Some of them are a little different depending on the platform, but there are a few applications that do actually overlap. Mobility is one of those applications, as well as what we're going to focus on today are some of the business process integration options. So for instance, phone system integration to Salesforce.com is available in both the ShoreTel Sky cloud-based phone system as well as the ShoreTel on-premise phone-based system. So today we're talking about screen pops, and really we're focusing on, want to focus on throughout all the different options we're going to look at today on the benefits. So screen pops provide faster access to pertinent information. So what we're talking about here is when a call comes into your phone system, the agent or the salesperson who's answering that call is going to get information that pops up at them. And that's going to enrich the experience for that agent. They're going to have more information at their fingertips about their client as soon as they call in. This makes your agents more efficient in a number of ways. Most screen pop applications, as we'll see, allow some sort of note-taking activity to happen. It can automate follow activities so that as soon as the call is done, you can schedule that next follow-up call. It increases accountability for those who answer calls for your organization. It can automate the call records. How many calls did I make this week? Am I making enough calls to hit my number? And faster call turnover with less lookups. So the faster I can get through each call, the more contacts I can make, the busier I am. You can provide a smoother experience for your callers as well. It's so nice when you call in, and instead of having to repeat information or list information to the agent, they can just say, hey, I'd like to confirm, is this Jenise Anderson with Global CTI calling? Instead of me having to tell them who I am or repeat an account number. It makes my call come to resolution faster, and I have a better overall experience as a client. So what screen pops are available? With ShoreTel, there's a couple of different options. The first one comes right out of the box. It's part of the ShoreTel application in both the ShoreTel Sky and in the ShoreTel premise-based system. If you use Outlook, out of the box, ShoreTel provides a connector to Outlook on the premise-based system. It provides an option to open up the matching Outlook card that you have in your personal Outlook contacts, and that will match against the phone number in the contact record of that Outlook contact card, and it will match against any phone number, work, mobile, home, any of those options you have to list phone numbers in your Outlook contact card. What that looks like is this is my ShoreTel Communicator application here on the left side of the screen. So this is just a piece of software that runs with any ShoreTel application. And as soon as that inbound call comes in, if I have opted to have my Outlook connector open up, as soon as that call comes in, this is a call from Jenise's cell phone, and it opened up the Jenise Anderson Global Contact card. You can see here that I have the mobile phone as well as the office phone, but this matched against the mobile phone in that contact card. And I happen to take notes here about my last interactions. So here, Jenise called last week to place an order, but today I was able to make a note that the order has an issue and we need to exchange some parts. So right here in the notes section of my contact card, I can keep track of my last couple interactions simply with Outlook, an application I already own and use with no extra programming. This is a simple checkbox in my option menu of my communicator to say if I want or don't want my Outlook contact cards to open up when the phone number matches. So out of the box, ShoreTel offers that as a very simple kind of pop-up option. ShoreTel also has an application. This is a per client application, so you would license this per person in the company who would need to have the application. The application runs on the user's desktop. It's called the ShoreTel EasyPop, and it provides the ability also to execute a particular user-defined program batch file or URL when an incoming call arrives or when an outgoing call is placed. So what that means is that I can trigger my CRM to open up on an inbound call. When running on a ShoreTel subscriber's client computer, the EasyPop appears as a small ShoreTel icon in the Windows taskbar tray while it continues to monitor the ShoreTel phone line. As soon as the phone call comes in, so on an incoming call, I will see a pop-up. First of all, though, the EasyPop is very easy to set up. This does not require any sophisticated application programming or the knowledge of any sort of programming language. This EasyPop comes with this setup box. Basically, this setup, once the application is loaded onto the client computer, you just make a couple of checkbox options here in this graphical user interface or GUI interface. If I want to trigger an application to open up or a website to open up, I can just fill in those application file paths or the HTTP address for a URL for a website that I might want to pop open when the EasyPop application is triggered. So very easy, just point, click, check, and fill in the blank setup. The type of information that I can grab from the ShoreTel EasyPop is going to be parameters from the ShoreTel system, and these could be any type of parameter that is available in the ShoreTel system. You'll see here where we use these parameters, but some of the ones that we can focus on are calling names. So if the phone company is sending in on my phone circuit the calling party name, or more importantly, the calling party number, these two fields are fields that I can use to customize what my EasyPop shows me as a client. This is where I customize my EasyPop layout, and this is what the EasyPop looks like down here in the right corner. You can see here from those list of fields that I can opt from, I have opted on my first line display to see the connected number and connected name of my party. And on the line 2, I want to see the number they dialed and the name of the number that they dialed, or maybe the group number and the group name, whichever applies to the way the call came in. So on this call, this pop-up will come almost in the same spot in my computer screen. It actually comes up down here in the right corner of your screen. It doesn't take up your whole screen, but just gives a nice little toaster pop-up in the right corner. And you'll see that the phone number of the person and the person's caller ID name is displayed, as well as this is the group number that they dialed. They dialed our internal extension 501, which is my order admin group. And then as soon as that pop-up opens up, I have the option to answer the call and trigger that URL or that application that I put in the setup screen. Or maybe I just want to answer the call. Maybe I know this isn't someone who's a customer of mine and I just want to answer the call only. So you have a number of options or actions that you can take once this little toaster pop-up comes up. Now, ShoreTel's built a number of what we call CRM integrations to some very well-known software applications. These are already pre-built. For ShoreTel, you can just purchase these application integrations on a per-user basis. So ShoreTel integrates with Salesforce.com. It integrates with Microsoft Dynamics or Microsoft CRM, some people call it. And it also integrates with the Sage Act application. And we're going to dive into those in a little more detail. I'm going to focus on the screen pop action, but we'll also give you a little bit of a highlight of what these integrations also do. So the key features for the ShoreTel for Salesforce include that, number one, Salesforce is a cloud-based application. So as I mentioned in the beginning, the Salesforce.com integration to ShoreTel works both on the premise-based and the cloud-based version of the ShoreTel system. It's supported for all browser-based CTIs for Salesforce, and it works on any device or operating system. So maybe I'm a supervisor who likes to walk around the office with my iPad. Nice thing is that I'm supported on an iPad, so as calls come in to me and maybe I have a mobility option on my iPad, I can still use my Salesforce integration. It allows for me to sign in one application. I don't have to go sign in ShoreTel and then also go sign in Salesforce. I can go into one single pane of glass and sign in. There's all these features. I'm not going to go through all of them. The one that I really want to focus on here is the inbound screen pops. So the Salesforce integration allows for when a call comes in and matches any record in my Salesforce record, it's going to pop the Salesforce screen and show me that contact record. Some of the other benefits of a Salesforce integration, of course, for each of your team members, if you'd like to read through these, great. I'm not going to read through all of these, but in general, your sales teams can use the application both on-prem or on their mobile app. You could track sales calls activities even while they're out on the road. So those road warriors have their sales call activity logged in through their Salesforce application even when they receive calls on their mobile devices. And where I really want to focus here is in our agent scenario where we may have folks who are answering calls, more of a steady contact center type agent or maybe just a ring group type of situation. ShoreTel screen pops with Salesforce.com show me who's calling. But not only that, it's going to kind of tell me why they're calling. As soon as I see that contact card, I'll see the information about their account. I can see if they had a recent activity. So as I'm answering the phone and before I'm even engaged too far into the conversation, I already have information about this client in front of me. And the nice thing about this, and we'll see a little example coming up, is that when I transfer the call to someone else, maybe they need technical support and I'm an order-taking team. I can transfer them to technical support and that window travels with them. So here we see an example of the screen pop. So as I'm using my Salesforce.com application, I have a little integrated dialer that takes over for the ShoreTel communicator. It actually becomes a version of communicator, but it's embedded within your Salesforce window. I can click to dial from any record here, but as soon as those calls come in, I get that screen pop coming up. And I can do a couple other things once that call has popped up that Salesforce record because that dialer is integrated in there. I have in the skin call control. So within my Salesforce.com window, I can put my call on hold, I can transfer my call, or I can conference. I can update my customer record right here with the call log and the comments. This is going to add a call log to the customer record to make note that this call came in and any notes I made about the call. Another cool thing is that I can also just pull up a quick history of the last 3 calls I took. Maybe I took a couple quick calls, but I want to go back to a call that I took a few calls ago and add notes after the fact. I can come in here and edit any of these call records and add notes. I can delete it out of my call history, or I can actually click this little button here and return a call right from my call history. Maybe someone called me back with information I need, and I can call back Larry right away here from this second call record. And the last thing that the integration gives me that's really nice is that when I go to transfer my call, I can quickly pull up a list of all my my fellow employees, and I can see if I needed to get Sarah on the phone, well, I can see she's already on the phone, and Sophie's out for the day, so I better transfer this call over to Joe because Joe looks like he's the only one who's going to be available to take the call right now. So I quickly get a call to the most effective person, and when I transfer that call, I don't need to make my customer repeat myself to Joe. Joe's going to receive that same Salesforce window I was working on transferred with that internal transfer of the call. So when Joe gets the call, he answers it, and Bob's record is going to pop up right in front of Joe, and he's going to see any notes that I made plus any of the previous ticket information. And boy, it sure is nice you don't have to repeat yourself to somebody when you're calling in, especially if you're already calling in. You probably already have an issue. So Microsoft Dynamics is the second CRM integration that, again, also provides a number of benefits very similar to the ones we went over with Salesforce.com. But the one I really like is that it, again, provides a nice screen pop notification window. But I've got a lot of choices in how I configure this screen pop window within the Microsoft Dynamics CRM integration. So this is what the Microsoft Dynamics screen pop-up window looks like. This one is not quite as integrated into the Microsoft Dynamics application so much as it is a ShoreTel designed pop-up. So when this pop-up comes up, it's going to match against the name that I see, or that it matches to in the customer record. So this is from Timothy Richard at 203-555-1000. And then I have some clickable options here in this pop-up. When I can either open this direct contact for Tim Richardson, or I can open the parent company that Tim's a member of. I can open up the Ashland Auto Group. These are also options. I can make a new phone call record regarding this phone call, or I can open up the contact and create a new phone call record. So if I want to just create a new phone call record, it's going to look like this. So I'm going to create a phone call record. This is just a simple pop-up. It pulls in the date, the time, the caller ID name and number, and then it gives me a brief description box. So after I create this call record, maybe I also want to open up my contact card. Maybe I want to enrich my contact card with some more information. If I click the Create and Open button, it's going to open up the full Microsoft Dynamics CRM contact card for me. And again, this is pulling in the phone number, the call notes that I already made, as well as other information. And there's a lot of configuration options with Microsoft Dynamics. So the tool itself gives you the option to customize how your screen pops behave. So within this integration, I have the ability to say, you know what, when my CRM is looking up information, I really only want to show a pop-up on inbound calls. Outbound calls, I can pull this drop down and say, you know what, do nothing with outbound calls. If I'm making an outbound call, I'm probably in my CRM. I'm probably using the click-to-dial feature within the CRM window, and so I don't really need to see the contact record on an outbound call. But certainly on inbound calls, if there's no match, I want it to pop up and allow me to add a new record. If there's one match, I want to show a pop-up. But if there's multiple matches, I may want to open up my main Microsoft Dynamics CRM application window, and in that case, I can make some options. So this is the Microsoft Dynamics main CRM application window. So the actual application itself has a little control panel window. This is allows me to see my call log. It also lets me see multiple matches. So if the same phone number matches more than one record, I can right-click and choose which record I want to open up. I can also choose to, in my calls, I can open up a contact record. I can create a phone call or open the full contact. I can open the account. I can create a lead from this inbound call. So if you're a telemarketing team who answers calls from ads, this is a great way to quickly add those incoming calls into your lead records as well. So I can really customize the behavior of my Dynamics application, and this is for each user. The third integration that ShoreTel has built, pre-built, that also allows for a dynamic and very integrated screen pop is the Sage Act integration. So in the Sage Act integration, we get highly configurable screen pops. We can click to dial from Act. We can transfer with a note. We can see history. I really like the configurable screen pops in this application. You can match on the calling numbers for incoming calls or on call numbers for outbound calls, the same as we saw in the Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So it'll pop the contact information If multiple matches match the same phone number, it'll create a list, and then I can choose which contact matches. Or if there's no match, I can create a new ACT record. So this works with or without ACT running in the background. I can choose to have it pop up upon ring, or I can make it wait to pop up until I actually answer in case I'm actually working on something. I may not want my window to pop up and ruin what I'm working on. I may choose to have this only pop up after I answer the call. So it's important to have that configuration option. With this, here's what the Sage ACT integration looks like. So when the call comes in and it matches the contact record, if you have an image on file for that contact, great, you'll see that image. It will bring up a number of hyperlinks here. So I can click on any one of these 4 hyperlinks, and I can pull up either the opportunity list. I can see the last couple opportunities for this customer. I could pull up the last activities, so I could see the last phone calls, either inbound or outbound, that were logged for this customer. I can see the history list, or I can see a note window so that I can see any recent notes or create a new note for this customer record. In the multiple match scenario, you can see here that the ShoreTel application will pull up from ACT any multiple matches, so I can quickly say, see who I'm talking to. If it's Allison or Sarah, I just click on the contact name and it'll open up the record like we saw on the last screen. On no match, it'll let me create a new contact record. So I might have an ad campaign where a lot of new people are calling in and I want to capture all of their names and phone numbers. So as long as I get the caller ID name from the phone company, I can see that and capture it. And then there's a number of in-screen call controls as well. So I can phone for someone from their main phone or to their mobile phone number. I can just pick which number I want to dial from my ACT integration, and then I just click the icon to the left of which number I want to dial, wherever I see the little orange ShoreTel icon. That becomes a dialable click-through right from the ACT application. I also have some call control. So when that call is active, notice down here I have some small icons. I have a little red hang-up button. I have an answer button to actually answer the call. And then if I need to transfer the call, just like we saw in the Salesforce application, this is really nice. When I go to transfer my call, I not only transfer the call to the person that I want to transfer it to, but that person at the target who I'm transferring it to receives the same ACT interface that I was looking at. So they have the same information with any new notes that I made. And if I want to see the history of any of the dialed numbers or of the contact, I can quickly pull up the history of that record. One of the last integrations I'll talk about with ShoreTel and call screen pops is the native application integration available with the ShoreTel Enterprise Contact Center, or ECC system. ShoreTel Enterprise Contact Center has a number of out-of-the-box ways to give your agents information about incoming calls. So based on either database integration or caller ID information, I can enrich my agent's screen with information either based on a match on the caller ID, or the Enterprise Contact Center system allows me to connect to a database in a number of different database formats, or natively able to connect into ShoreTel. And based on customers' input, if I ask them to input their account number, I can then pull back information out of my database matching both caller ID and account number, or maybe just on account number. And then I can see that information in ECC. I can actually see that information integrated into multiple areas for my agents. So when I'm running the ShoreTel Enterprise Contact Center, I can see it in my ShoreTel notification pop-up window, so just the basic screen pop or the call notification window that happens with ShoreTel. There's also your active call window, so inside the actual active call window, and in the status window. So let's see what that looks like. So here we can see if I am a ShoreTel ECC agent, I have my login, logout functionality here and some nice drop-downs, but when a call comes in, the first thing I see down here in this bottom right corner is the, we call this the toaster pop-up. And I can see a number of bits of information here. I see the caller ID, I also see the account number, and I see the account balance. I see that this call came into my personal agent queue and the time that it came in. What information is displayed here is configurable. If all I wanted to see was the account number and account balance, I could very easily just go into my communicator tools and options and only allow those two pieces of information to come in. But the third place that an agent can see this information also is they have a call status bar where they can see the calling number. I have that minimized here a little bit, but I can clearly see the account number and the account balance for the person calling in. So if I'm in banking or if I am in the payment pool for my customers, I can just quickly have them confirm their account number for me, or I can confirm it to them. And then I can say, would you like to pay your full account balance of $1,002.10 today? And they don't have to scramble for their account balance. I have it right there available for them. So if anyone has questions, let us know. Now that we've got you thinking about screen pops and all the different ways you can use them, let us know what questions you have for us. And thank you for attending. Look forward to having you here, and please look for our upcoming education sessions in the future.